Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at a watch from a brand that's near and dear to my heart, Jaeger-LeCoultre of Sentier. And in this case, we're looking at the size and shape of a new era of Reverso. Launched for the 2000s and the new millennium, the so-called XGT case size, the Extra Grand Taille, was a bigger, bolder Reverso for the modern man and the modern taste. Now, in 2002, 1 year after officially celebrating the 70th anniversary of the celebrated Reverso model, a standard in the lineup since 1931 for JLC, the bottom line was they were actually a year late launching the 70th anniversary watch because its 8-day movement, the caliber 879 and the Septantieme of 2002, just took so much work to perfect. But if you're into getting Ferraris for Mustang prices, the good news is JLC tried to make the most of its investment in that Septantieme movement by launching two watches the next year, 2003, the Reverso Grande Date with the caliber 875 and the Reverso Grande Reserve, which you see here with the caliber 874. Now, what makes this watch special besides that early XGT case size, the first 48mm plus Reverso, it's just under 30mm wide, just under 49mm lug to lug. What makes it special is that this movement is an 8-day power reserve with two barrels operating in series driving a unique jump power reserve gauge. Now you can see on the case back that the caliber 874 features an 8-day power reserve with a jump indicator, and 8 in this case is not full. When it's full, it reads up. Now this is something that will jump when it reaches the end of one day, but unless you're looking at just the perfect moment, you're unlikely to ever see it. So the fun comes in winding it up, and when it goes from 8 days to fully wound, you will see it transition from 8 to up. And in watchmaking, up means full. So you have that elegant, sort of mysterious and tantalizing little look with the case back, still available for engraving if you like to personalize your Reverso, but with a little extra measure of complication, just enough to start a conversation or intrigue your fellow watch enthusiasts. And then, obviously, the dial needs no introduction. This is the classic so-called golden rectangle Reverso with that proper aspect ratio of length to height, and as with all traditional Reversos, you have Arabic numerals, you have thin, I would say sword hands, chemically blued with high heat in a kiln, guilloche and a railroad track around the inner dial. Now the guilloche is rose engine turned. You can see in person it's a very gentle waving alternating pattern that runs vertically in columns and horizontally in rows. Very beautiful. Just a little bit quirky with the off-centered small seconds, but this is the classic face of the Reverso. Arabic numerals, sword hands, heat blued, either a white on black dial or a black on silver dial. The gadroons running horizontally across, these are hand engraved at JLC, which is why if you look in the troughs of the gadroon wells, you can actually see that it's almost like scooped cookie dough in there. It's got that roughness from the hand cutting, just a sign that an artisan, not a machine, was here. But beautifully rendered in every respect. Now the case is part of the fun of a Reverso. You can see that the chassis is always machine turned on the inside, so you have that perlage pattern overlapping. Very beautiful, and another signature of the Reverso, but one that non-owners will rarely see. It's fun to flip this watch just to pass the time or amuse onlookers. Now JLC guys get a kick out of this, but trust me, the appeal is so elemental that anyone, even if he's a Rolex guy, is going to find this a fun trick. And the bottom line is the watch actually wears much smaller than its nominal size. This is the so-called 240 case. Now the 240 succeeded the 270 Grand Taille. The XGT has been called a monster, but the reality is that if you're used to wearing something like, a 44mm Panerai, if you're used to something like an Hublot, Big Bang, not necessarily the King Power, that's bigger, or an Audemars Piguet 42mm Royal Oak Offshore, you won't find this watch large at all. And it wears beautifully because it does sit relatively flat on the wrist, and because the measurement of the case is truly the lug-to-lug measurement, not a diameter as with a round watch. A lot of times with a round watch, you'll be tempted to say, okay, well, let's add 3, 4, 5 millimeters because that's going to be the span of the lugs in addition to the diameter of the case. Here, that 48 plus, just under 49, is the true span of the lugs. I would recommend trying a Reverso just because the lugs are drilled relatively high. You can see relative to where it actually contacts the wrist, the straps actually connect relatively high on the case, and that can be the only complication when sizing a Reverso. But my wrist, for reference, is 6 1/3 inches, and for our metric fans, that's 16 centimeters. This wears just fine on my wrist, so I would say that unless you have a truly petite wrist or the ultimate round wrist, this Reverso Grande Reserve would be a great fit for you. The Reverso is a JLC classic. The engineering that went into this watch was developed for the Septantieme, a watch with a $94,000 price back in 2002. So the engineering inside this is absolutely stunning, world class. The jumping power reserve in a little porthole is completely unique, original to JLC and exclusive to this movement. So you're owning a little piece of watchmaking history. Not only a pioneering movement, not the debut of the modern large Reverso, and not just an 8-day power reserve, but all of these things in one classically styled package that is as iconic as any Patek Philippe Calatrava, any Rolex Submariner, really any Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. The Reverso is of that ilk. It is in that pantheon. And with the Grande Reserve, you're getting a complicated Reverso in a modern paradigm that's nevertheless part of that exclusive club of legends. Available from watchyouwant.com in outstanding condition, this JLC Reverso Grande Reserve is available on our website, watchyouwant.com. Check it out in high-res photography. I'm confident that if you're looking for a modern Reverso with the classical style and more than a little bit of high horology pedigree, this Reverso Grande Reserve will be the watch you want.